This video will show how to prepare all of the electrical connections between the instruments, trunk line, and field computer for an OI-HPT system. As we look at the back of the instruments, we'll begin by making the power cable connections on the HPT controller, field instrument, and OIP interface. Next, we will connect two 62-pin serial cables between the instruments. These cables will connect the HPT controller with the field instrument and the HPT controller with the OIP interface. The instrument position on the HPT controller does not matter. By having both of the instruments connected to the HPT controller, it will allow the DI acquisition software to load in OI-HPT mode. Next, we will connect the HPT water supply line to the larger of the two bulkhead fittings in the lower left corner of the HPT controller. The HPT bypass line will connect to the left of the supply line, and both connections, of course, will need to be tightened down. The opposite ends of these water lines will be placed into the water supply tank. We will now link the electrical connectivity connections between the field instrument and the OIP interface with a cable connector. Make sure the wires are in the top two positions of both green terminal connections. These next cables are gender specific to connect the trunk line electrical wires to the OIP interface. The lower connection is the control line for the probe LED and camera, and the upper connection is the video feed return. When you make the connection, press in, then spin the collar and repeat until the fitting is secure. I'm bringing over a string pot, and I'm going to connect that to the instrument. So there's a plastic fitting on the string pot cable which connects to the string pot port on the field instrument. On the opposite end, there's a metal connector which will attach to the string pot itself. Again, you push in, twist to secure the fitting on here. Next, we will install the top end of the OI-HPT trunk line. As we look at both ends of this trunk line, you will see the exposed wire ends are different. The side with varying wire lengths connects to the probe, and the end with the equal wire lengths is the up-hole end and is the easiest to thread through the probe rods, which must lie in opposite directions, as I'm going to show. This end will also connect to the instruments. I am going to begin by inserting the water injection line into the press fit connection port. This is going to complete the HPT connections, and notice in this mode we do not connect the HPT sensor wires. I will now make the trunk line electrical connections to the OIP interface transition cables. These cables are gendered differently for ease of connection and configured so they can only go together one way. The HPT sensor data comes back through these cables and is transferred to the HPT controller via the serial cable. The last item to connect in the back of the instruments is the USB cable between the field instrument and one of the two USB ports on the back of the OIP interface. This will complete the connections on the OIP interface, and we'll show them here. Now we will move to the front of the instruments and connect the field laptop to the system. First, we will connect a USB cable from the video USB connection on the interface to the field computer, then connect the data line USB to the computer. There should be 3 new drivers that have loaded onto the computer. To check that they have loaded properly, you can go to the computer's control panel, devices, and printer section. Then we can select the DI acquisition software icon, and it should open in OI-HPT mode.